David, first metal roof in Bowen Isles. You're making history. I don't know if you realize that, but it's a big deal that there's metal in this community. Everybody I tell, like roofer friends I have, I tell them we just did the first metal roof in Bowen Isles, and they say, no way. I can't believe they got away with that. Why did you want metal to begin with? What kind of swung you?
Okay, so this roof, our existing tile roof, is 30 years old. And it was time for a new roof. And we started looking at, what roofs are available. And it was tile option or metal. So we called you guys. Actually, my wife did. She did a lot of research. But she said, and I want somebody who's done a metal roof before. And she found you guys. Mm-hmm. So Rick Katz came over here, and Rick explained to us the benefits of metal versus tile. We had the two other entrenched roofers come over and give us their explanations of the metal versus tile. And we decided metal was definitely the way to go. And knowing I had done the research of the Community Association, had approved in the middle of last year metal roofing as a roofing option. So after 40 years in this community of being stuck with barrel and flat tiles, they went with metal roofing. So I said, we're going to do it.
Yeah, and you were the first one to decide to put a metal roof on, even though it got approved middle of last year.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't think many people had read or knew that they were approved. Mm-hmm. And so when they went for roof replacements, I don't know whether the roofers that they went to even suggested metal roofing to them.
Right. And your wife's super smart because she realized if we're going to put a metal roof on, let me find somebody that does metal roofing, that's experienced in metal roofing. So you were talking to us and two other companies. What were their thoughts on the metal when you talked about metal versus tile?
They never really so much sold metal more than they did tile. They more kind of talked about, well, we're entrenched, our experience, this is what we do both, blah, 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 etc. Whereas when we met with Rick, he was very specific. And my wife Margaret, had done a lot of research already. And she came up with all of the points, how much more secure a metal roof is than a tile roof in a windstorm. And mm-hmm. that was probably our biggest thing. And then the other thing is we have an insurance problem. Because of a 30-year-old roof, we were stuck with one insurance company. And they just kept on increasing our premium. In fact, to the point where our last year renewal was at $30,000, which for a house this size in this community is about 3 or 4 times what everybody else is paying.
$30,000 insurance policy is insane.
Yeah,
insane.
$30,000 for homeowners.
So then what happened after we put the roof on?
So we actually we had what's called a windstorm mitigation report. An inspection company came out, did it, showed a new roof, sent it to my broker. He sent it to the existing insurance company. And they looked for other quotes. So they came back, in fact, to that this morning. I just got an email from Jeff. And he said, your existing insurers has offered a renewal premium of $18,500. But we can get an insurance quote that we think is going to range about $6,000 once we make apples equal apples.
Which is crazy, from $30,000 to $6,000.
Right. Well, the renewal quote that they sent us before the roof for our upcoming was $26,000. After the new roof, $18,000. So let's look at the $18,000 with the new roof. And then this company is coming in around $6,000. So we're saving 66%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a huge amount of money.
A lot of homeowners are in that same spot. You have an old roof, so you can't shop for new policies, so you're just stuck. If your current insurance raises you have to take it. But then when you get the new roof, you can shop it like you did, and you can get a better rate.
Right.
But yours got cut in 20%.
So interestingly enough, and this is a fact that probably most people don't know, this particular insurance company had a cutoff of the roof age of 27 years. So after year 28, they charge us a penalty over and above the insurance. Then year 29, they charge us a penalty. Year 30, and it kept going up. Last year, the penalty, or whatever, the assessment, whatever, was $5,000. So of that $30,000, $5,000 was an old roof thing, and then various other things.
Right. What did you think of the process? Like actually men showing up to your home to replace it?
Your process was absolutely fantastic. I was so impressed because I have watched both my neighbors' roofs being replaced. These guys tore their old roof off on this side, and then they put something called polyglass on it. It was a silver thing there, and it sat there for about 4 months.
4 months.
Because apparently the tiles weren't available, mm-hmm. quote unquote. And from what actually Rick told us in the quote was, he said, well, that stuff doesn't last 4 months in Florida sunshine.
Yeah.
He says, you've got to have those tiles on, within 30 days maximum.
Yeah.
There's still bits and pieces of that roof lying there 3 years later in their yard. Whereas Foxhaven absolutely did a fantastic job of cleaning up, all of the screws, all of the metal, all of the nails that came out of the old roof, because I guess, I don't know, they had washers and nails and they were all over the place. Really fantastic. And I told the guys, I said, listen, guys, I've got 3 expensive cars with very expensive tires, and you don't want your boss to have to be paying for a new tire
Right.
because you got one of your nails or screws in it.
Right. I mean, there's a million benefits of tile versus metal. You got your insurance benefits. It lasts twice as long. The maintenance is the big one. You had a tile roof for 30 years? 30 years?
Right.
And what was the maintenance history and repairs like?
Well, I think over those years, and I can recall, we spent about $17,000 to $20,000 fixing. I mean, the roof leaked all over. And in fact, when they tore it off, you could see, because I learned a lot about how you replace roof and how you got to put in, the 8x4 foot of plywood. But when you fix a roof, they find a hole and it's 2x2 or something. They cut a hole, they put a new piece of plywood. But now that meant that when your guys came along, they had to take that whole piece of plywood out and put it in it. So, in fact, by doing shoddy repairs, which, at the time is, well, who wants to spend a lot of money fixing a roof? Find the hole and fix it, please. That's
Right.
all I want you to do. But as a result, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we had to replace over 80 pieces of plywood on this roof,
Yep.
which I think is quite a lot. The barrel tiles hide, to some extent, the issues that go on underneath with the plywood because of the curvature of that. But whereas metal, and one of the community association's requirements is, the roof cannot show any what's called oil canning, which means the imperfection of the metal flowing. You know better than me what it is. Mm-hmm. So, and your guys fixed it. They said, look, to get this thing, Kate, if the struts aren't level, the plywood sheets won't be level. So we had to fix it. And, your team was fantastic. And they did it all in 2 days. They tore the old roof off. They fixed all the plywood, they fixed the struts, and they put the underlayment, the roof Naudo blue stuff on in 2 days. I mean, everybody around here said, wow, that's fantastic. And I got a good joke, because I walk every morning to the gym, which is at the clubhouse, and I come along and people see me and I say, hey, you said they have a couple of people, how'd you like our blue roof? And they say, you got a blue roof?
Yeah. What would you say you're the most excited about that you weren't expecting with the metal roof now that it's done?
First of all, the look. I think it looks fantastic. I mean, it has really made this house look more modern than it was. This community was designed as a Mediterranean community. The original color was pink. This house, when we bought this house in 2005, it was pink. What it's done is it's made it, look Mediterranean contemporary. Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. And we have the storm windows. We put those in when we moved in 2005. And it's the metal roof now complements everything that we've done.
Yeah, the only pushback anybody can ever give us on a metal roof is aesthetics. You don't want to screw up the Palm Beach Mediterranean style home. But then everybody sees it. What's been the feedback from the neighbors?
So people who come up to me say they love it. I mean, one or two people say, it's not for me. I say,
yeah.
Great, it's not for you. Okay, go do whatever you want to do when you have to replace your roof. But people have been coming up to us, who know our house because it's visible. That's one of the great other things. And they turn around and say, wow, I didn't know you could get a metal roof. It looks fantastic. Or your metal roof looks fantastic.
Right.
And that's it. It's been,
right.
Haven't heard virtually any negative feedback.
So what would you say to someone that's thinking about maybe looking into getting a metal roof?
I'll tell them to call you guys. That's for sure.
For sure. The energy efficiency, the insurance benefits, the longevity, the lack of maintenance, and it's the same price. Same price or a bit less.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer.
It's absolutely a no-brainer.
Unless you absolutely hate the way it looks, which, okay, if you hate it, you hate it. But if you like the way it looks, it's a no-brainer.
Oh, and one other thing that I think is important is people don't realize what the color palette is available. I mean, I think that there are greater choices in the metal colors than there are in tile.
Yeah, and something that's real big right now is the dark colors. You want a dark roof with a light colored house. It's very trendy. It's very in. It's very modern. And you can't really achieve the same dark, sexy look with a dark tile roof. They're just not as dark. They're not as bold. So if you really want that dark, sexy look, the metal does a great job. So like matte black, mansard brown, dark bronze, charcoal gray, those are our most popular colors, and they have been for like the last 18 months. And this is why. I mean, you pull up and you're like, wow.
So interestingly, what a lot of people are doing is, as you said about the dark roof and the light colors, there are 3 houses around here that have all been repainted white, and they painted their roofs black. which was something that, again, the community association allowed. So the house next door, you look, they had black flat tiles put on, but they're not really black. They're more like a dark charcoaly color.
And that's as dark as tile gets, as right there. So you can't really get that really dark, rich look with tile, but the metal does it.
And it also looks like it's already fading and stuff because of the rain, and it's leaving like watermarks on it. Now, the black tiles look pretty good, but I don't know how long do you think their paint will last?
Exactly.
I mean, these guys will probably have to repaint it and but that's the look that people are going for. You put on a metal roof for the White House,
Thanks, David. Thanks for choosing us. Thanks for trusting us. We're happy you're happy. This, like I said, we're kind of making history in Florida because these communities have always been tile. For 30 years, they've been tile, and now we're starting to see metal right now. So
there you go.
It's really exciting for a guy like us that specializes in metal,
And we were very happy to have chosen you, and we're very grateful that we found you. And we certainly will give you guys, the best recommendations we can to anybody who wants a metal roof.
We appreciate it. Thank you,
Cheers.
sir.